to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. We really want to thank every single person that has subscribed to the channel. We appreciate, love you so much, beloveds. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks to every single person that likes the videos, that shares the videos. This is one of the ways you can, have a revolutionary act, beloveds, in terms of getting the alternative news to our people. Special shout out to our Patreon family. We have actually released a link to some books, over a dozen books that would be really an important addition to your library, which look at African history and African American history from around the 1800s. There's just some books on there, seriously. And I've been meaning to do a book review. Maybe that's what I'll get into on my primary channel, Dr. Mumbi Show. So make sure you've also subscribed over there. People have been asking me what I think about everything that's going on. There's massive censorship. And I think the greatest casualty in this is the truth that even now, people who are truthers are being found that they're almost self-censoring so that they can get part of the truth to our people at such a time as this. If you've been paying attention, by the way, there's been absolutely massive demonstrations across Europe, in Canada, in Australia. The Zulus showed up in South Africa and held a massive drive against the New World Order agenda. And mainly what people are concerned with now is the massive, the mass resignation that we're seeing in the divided states and the divided kingdom from police, who are saying, they don't want to, they're not going to be part of the mandates. They're not going to, my body, my choice kind of situation. And a lot of you have been asking me, what do I really think is going on? Beloveds, I think nothing right now is by design. I think it's so important that we recognize that the world is a stage, and everything that we're looking at, there's a puppet master somewhere who is pulling the strings. I mean, they said that in Washington, D.C. alone, it was going to take hundreds of millions of dollars to restaff and retrain, the police that were leaving. We've been seeing massive numbers of police saying they're not having it, they're not gonna do it. Same thing happening with the military. I was just told that the military in Canada has actually been told that they will have to get down with the mandate if they want to change. But what is really going on, beloveds? This is something that has been, they knew this was coming, because why would we? Why would the divided states be entering the darkest winter at the exact same time they're allowing so many of their police officers who are not down with the New World Order agenda to resign? What's really going on? It takes critical thinking, beloveds. And this tells me, I know this is going to sound really far-fetched, but I really do believe that we are going to start seeing ROBOCOPS. Yep. I really believe that that's where AI is taking us. And we are in such a race. The New World Order agenda, it's almost like I did a show on this before where I talked about how they are literally running out of time, beloveds, to implement their agenda, because they have to implement it before a certain number of people awaken. And the resistance movement is growing. So for me, what I believe is that a lot of the mandates that are being forced on these forces, how they call police force. Have you ever thought about that? That the mental, the connotations of that military force. I tell you, everything is mental first, beloveds. Please, check out the Kybalion so that you can know exactly what's going on and how the world is mental first before it's physical. But I am not joking about this, beloveds. We are moving quickly into what they want to call, a police surveillance planet, or a police surveillance Babylon state. And ROBOCOPS are coming. I think if you remember, I think in 2019, I actually did a show where I talked about how the British government had talked about how the divided kingdom was going to have up to 30% of their military be robots literally by 2030 because not enough people were enlisting, not enough, they just weren't getting enough recruits locally, they weren't able to get enough recruits internationally. So they were going to incorporate that. And always remember, beloveds, anything that you're told by Babylon is already happening, is already existing. So if they tell you that by 2030, we're in 2021, so in 9 years, they're telling you that 30% of the, I think it's 20 or 30, of the divided kingdom army will be robots. I mean, don't you think that's ready? And I've done a show on predictive programming. Please go and check it out. How they have been slowly, brainwashing the collective, beloveds, to believe in these robots. It's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched. And how does this concern you? This means, beloveds, that you should be moving out of the cities in earnest, finding your own little nest and building, growing your own food, stocking up on water, stock up on power, beloved, stock up on gas, stock up on, petrol, diesel, whatever your car uses. Stock up on, all the things that power your house, beloveds. And try and go into non-renewable energy as much as possible. Because what we see happening in the divided states right now is going to have a domino effect on the rest of the world. I mean, I talked about a cloning center once in Kenya and I got followed, guys. So don't think that this is a joke. ROBOCOPs are coming. Remember I told you thought police? And you have to think who would be, a lot of the policemen are not desensitized enough to implement the New World Order the way the powers would want it. There are those who have totally bowed to the system, but there are many, many more who haven't. And so they will need to be replaced with something that is less emotional, more methodical, more calculating. Let me know. Let me know if you agree or if you think I'm way out there. But stranger things are happening, beloveds. And as Babylon falls, you have to make a choice in which world you want to live in, the matrix or the natural world. The natural world is your greatest defense, beloveds. And just know that if you are still in the major cities, you are a sitting duck for the experimentations of Babylon, as they try and create their new society. That they have been predictive programming us for decades. Until next time, tuko pamoja.